Dave J, what's going on, man?
Hey man, how are you?
Oh, I'm pretty good, dude. It's good to see you, man. I didn't know how this was gonna go, man. I was feeling kind of weird because I'm a very spastic, and you seem like a really chill guy. So we'll see how weird this gets. But
No, it's all spastic upstairs. Up
is
here,
it
everything
okay?
is
So you have balance one way or
balances.
another.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah, so you got some strings back there. I guess you play a lot.
Yeah, I got a few bases. Quarantine really kind of messed things up for me here because this used to be my daughter's room,
Uh huh.
and we turned it into my office. So because I really don't see us going back in the office anytime soon. And so
Yeah.
I went and collected all of my stuff that I've from all over the house. So all my things are in one place. And so now
Yeah.
I'm looking at these guitars, and I started playing more. I play a little bit of bass, so I started playing more. And then I'm
Hmm.
like, well, I'm really into it again. And I went and bought a new bass and a new amp and all this shit, which
Yeah.
would have happened if it weren't for quarantine. Uh,
Right. Yeah, hell yeah. I was looking at your Instagram earlier and I saw that I think we have this little
oh yeah,
special, this little
yeah, yeah, yeah.
value project here.
Yeah, I
I
got
don't.
mine over. Mine's over in the corner over there. I got it maybe yeah,
Yeah,
maybe
if
that
I had
year.
more guitars, this one would probably be in the corner.
Yeah, like
This
eight, 10
one's
years. It was like $100.
yeah, yeah. I think that's what that one was. It was it works fine, but I don't actually play. I play with it. I always tell people I don't play guitar. I play with my guitar. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I started going around and toying with it again because like I started playing. Uh,
how do you mean? Because you play more bass, or
yeah, I played more bass, and I really
okay?
started playing any kind of instruments like in high school. And
Hmm.
back then, like YouTube wasn't really a thing. Like maybe it just started when I graduated
Right,
high school.
right.
And
Yeah.
now when I pick it up and start to like really get into it again, I'm like, if I had YouTube 12 years
Yeah.
ago, I would be so much better. Because
Yeah.
I'm just looking at videos of guys playing and like like learning all kinds of stuff that like
Yeah,
I've been
dudes in
playing for
flip
like
flops just nailing it.
right, and I'm like,
Yeah.
no, I just completely was like, I'll try this. Never took a lesson or anything like that.
I have
Um,
a
yeah,
I have a friend who's like he's like a really good guitarist. He was on the episode 2 and 3 of this, and we were talking about YouTube, and he was like, "Man, YouTube's like my second dad." Because I learned so
yeah,
much from YouTube, and I was like, "Wow, that's a great take. I've never thought about it like that." That's
yeah.
great.
YouTube's
It's
wild because I remember telling a friend like, oh, you got to check out YouTube, like in 2006. I'm like, no, it's like it's a lot of videos. It's
yeah,
crazy. And there was a time where it's like you might wonder like this thing is that on YouTube? Like we'll find out. And then somehow
yeah,
went down that's not a thing.
yeah. That's so crazy. Yeah, it's wild. Like I mean, it's just anybody can be have their own TV show now. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
great. It's great, but it's also the best thing about it is also the worst thing about it. You know, I
Yeah.
can't. I'm trying to think of the worst thing I've ever seen on YouTube, but I think my mind's blocking that out. So
Yeah,
yeah.
the thing is my kids like they just they watch all these YouTubers
Uh
and
huh.
I had this realization the other day is that like you watch these like well, they're basically kids. They live in like these McMansions where they rent out the house and they do all these stunts or whatever in the house.
Yeah.
This is so stupid. This is not a talent. This is not anything. And then I'm like, it's just Jackass with like PG. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
And like those guys were like they're gods now, but like
Yeah.
they're just
And it's
doing that.
crazy what you'll watch. I mean, I watched a video that was like 30 minutes the other day of guys who make a hovercraft out of like 100 leaf blowers. And I watched this shit. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
watched it all the way through and I was like, that's what I did for 30 minutes today. I'm so
yeah.
ashamed of myself.
That's so funny, dude. Because yeah, last night I started watching this thing that was like about the Egyptians, and it was like they had advanced tools, and this is how we know. And I'm like, if this was on the History Channel, I would be like, this is so legit. But it's like we treat it with the same level of like, this is real on
Yeah.
YouTube. It's just some dude who's like,
Yeah. Isn't that
like
wild? I mean, oh,
everything is just some dude now, and you're like,
yeah.
whoa,
Yeah.
there's no machine.
It's weird where media's gone nowadays. It's kind of great though. I mean, I don't know. It's weird shit. So like, so right now you're I was I've been talking to some of the other guys in that group. Do you guys have a name, by the way? You guys need a name because I want to, when I refer
Oh,
to you, I need like the band name. I don't know.
no, there's no name. I guess we're just the only. We're like the handful of.
I wouldn't think you would, but I was hoping there would be one.
No, we might have to get one after this. But there's just a handful of Austin comics who are like who really never stopped during
Yeah,
quarantine,
yeah, I
and
noticed
like
that. That's how I met you guys.
and I kind of I slowed down a lot. Like back in March, everything shut down, and I didn't
Yeah.
do anything until June,
Okay.
and that's when we met, right?
Right.
And so we had a good like week long run, and then it was like everything shut down again,
Again.
and
Right.
um, so I went out and did Dean's show in Round Rock a couple nights ago,
Yeah.
or last week or whatever, and things seem like they're kind of starting to come back in a little bit. But down
Mm-hmm.
here in Austin, like there's just not a lot going. It really feels
Yeah.
like things are falling apart. We look at
Really.
somewhere like San Antonio or look at or Dallas, and they from here it looks like they're doing stuff. But
Yeah, I noticed that one of my favorite comics is in San Antonio this weekend, and I was thinking about that. I was like, wow, I guess San Antonio's back up.
yeah, LOL's been they. I don't know if they ever completely shut down because they had a few like big names come through.
Uh huh.
Um, and they just closed Cap City here for good.
Oh yeah, actually wanted to ask you about that. So how's that? Like, what's the thought? I mean,
Yeah,
how's everybody feeling about that? Like, what's
it's everyone's really is super bummed. It sucks,
yeah, I'm sure.
and lots of I see a lot of comics on Facebook and Instagram, whatever, kind of posting their
R.I.P.
on
Yeah,
stage RIP shots. Yeah,
yeah.
what it really is kind of sad about it is like for someone like me here in Austin, I'm like that was the goal, is to
Right,
feature
right.
host, be a part of that scene and be able to get on stage there, you know. And now that's gone. I kind of feel like what's the North Star in Austin,
Yeah.
and what's the reason you would come to Austin unless you were a theater act? Unless you're going to go to the Paramount Theater
Mm-hmm.
and you're a nationally
Yeah.
touring headliner, you're just going to go
Right.
to San Antonio. So those headliners right now, there's nowhere for them to go in Austin.
Yeah. Yeah. I've only been there once. I think we saw Eliza Slasinger there, and that
Yeah,
was a pretty great place. It was a great. I was shocked to see that. That was yesterday or the day before?
I think it was 2 days ago.
2 days ago. Okay.
Yeah,
Gosh,
yeah,
man, that's
it's a
so
super
crazy.
bummer. I've seen a bunch of shows there and got on the mic a bunch
Hmm.
on the open mic,
Yeah.
and it really it really just felt like a special kind of place to do comedy, especially from my perspective. Like I said, like you're trying to get to Cap City if you're here in Austin. Like
Right.
that's the clear step is like I want to host and feature at Cap City, and you'll get to hang out with some of the cool best comics in the country that way, and
Hmm.
get exposure and all this stuff. So yeah, I don't really know what's gonna happen, but Joe Rogan just moved in.
See, that's what I was working to. I was gonna ask you that. So I was
Yeah.
wondering what the thought is there. If everybody's thinking what I'm thinking, or
Hey man, if I heard he wants to open a club, and
yeah.
God bless him if he does, because it doesn't seem like a good financial decision. It's like
Yeah.
that. But yeah, if he bring it on, dude. We need it.
Yeah.
We need.
Yeah.
I'm all for it. If he whatever he can do to kind of whatever power he has to make Austin a more thriving scene is going to
Hmm.
be. Um, I'm all for it. I can only benefit from that.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, it's wild. He moves to Texas and he's instantly the biggest comic in Texas,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
one of the biggest comics in the country, and he's based in Austin. That's going to have
Sure.
I hope, going to have an impact on the scene here.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, I mean, he came here to work, so I mean, I would see. I feel like if anyone's gonna figure something out, I mean, I feel like it'd be JoJo there.
Yeah, man. Joe, if you're listening, I'm
Yeah,
available.
yeah. I hope so. Who was I telling? I don't remember who I was talking to. I don't know. I tell everybody this. I do this thing where I Instagram message like a bunch of celebrities, just hoping I'll catch one day, you
Yeah.
know. And it's mostly me trying to get people to come to the performing arts center that we have here. Like we've
Oh yeah.
had names here, but it's never been like it's never been anybody that I've been like, oh, this guy, you know. Like we've had like Joe
Yeah.
Coy and some other people here, but it's like I try to whenever Joe Coy and Burt Kreischer do that thing back and forth where they talk shit and just throw like flex on each other. I'll be like,
Yeah.
hey, slap tits, soul Coy was here. What are you doing? You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
and nothing ever happens. You know, and every now and again I'll send Joe Rogan like some cool tech stuff I saw.
Yeah.
Just to see if I can get an ad or whatever. Nothing, but one day
Yeah.
we'll see. I know nothing's gonna happen, but it's fun.
Yeah.
I send jokes to Mark Norman sometimes. Nothing ever happens. I didn't think it would.
Oh really?
Yeah, just because he's like my favorite. So
Yeah,
yeah.
he's super cool. His I watched his special on YouTube a couple of times.
Oh, it was great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
cool, man.
his joke. He has that kind of chunk that's about transitioning. I think he just posted it on Instagram too recently, where he's like the basic concepts being you can transition if you can transition from a man to a woman. Why can't I transition from someone who used to be shitty to someone who's changed? Like
Yeah,
basically is the basic gist of the joke, and that's a really good like that kind of joke is like I think it starts to edge you into a new kind of level, right? Like I think about
yeah.
Chris Rock in this way, where
Uh huh.
so much of what Chris Rock says is like, if there were no jokes, it's also just great advice. You know what I mean? It's true,
Okay.
and
Yeah.
so like on Chris Rock's last special,
I was gonna ask you what you thought of Tambourine. Was it
I
Tambourine
like
was his
Tim.
last one, right?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
But I love Timbaland. I love
Yeah.
that because there's so much in there that's like I don't think comedy needs to have a message, or it needs to be true, or you need to walk away in having learned something. I just think you need to
Right.
laugh. But
Yeah.
so he can accomplish that. But then also, like when he talks about his marriage and how that kind of came apart. We talks about his kids. I love when he tells his daughters, he's like, "I'm just letting you know before you leave the house, nobody outside gives a shit about you except for me." Like stuff like that, where it's like it's funny and it's true. Like it makes you go,
That's solid advice, though. I mean, yeah, it is. I got that more or less from my parents. I
like
would think
that.
that's
That's kind
good
of shit
stuff.
that's like next level where it's like, oh shit, this is like I hate to use this term, but like this person's kind of like the philosophy rings true, whatever they're saying, the message rings true, and
Yeah.
also it's just fucking funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Most importantly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's nuts, man. So I've been talking to who do we got so far? I got talked to Dean, talked to Spencer, Mike, and Ozzy. And I've
Oh
asked
yeah.
them all. So this has been a time for me to like really. I've grown. I feel like I've grown a lot more horizontally than anything else, but mentally, I feel like I've grown. I've taken a lot out of this time. You know, I mean, I'm working and stuff, but like obviously outside of work, I don't. There's not really anything. You know, so
Right.
I've been like really reflect. That's why it's part of the reason I started this podcast and all kinds of other stupid. This was my Corona hobby, like all kinds of dumb shit, nunchucks, all kinds of weird
You
shit. So
gotta
like,
protect yourself.
yeah, it wasn't even that. I just thought it looked cool. It wasn't even that. Everybody likes a chuck, but I thought I was thinking about this and like, and what's cool is I'm finding that it's been this way with a lot of people. I've been wanting to stand up is something that I always wanted to get into, or even just miking for a long time, which and I just never did it, and I'm at a point in my life where I'm like, just fucking do it. You know what I mean? And I heard
Yeah.
Mike say on Dean's show, like, why would you give a shit what anybody thinks at an open mic? And I was like, whoa, like that struck a chord
Yeah.
with me. It really fucked me up, and I was like, yeah, okay, I'm in. You know? So I
Yeah.
started like, I wrote a couple little things here and there or whatever, but like, what advice would you have for me getting into that?
Yeah. I mean, just do it.
Right. Okay. So
Give yourself a
general
like
consensus so far. Yeah.
yeah, give yourself a time like oh, I'm going to go to this mic at this date and you know come hell or high water, if I'm prepared or if I'm not prepared, I'm just going to get on the stage. And because you just got to get the first one out of the way,
Hmm.
because I felt the same way. I was so nervous the first time. Like, I thought I was going to fucking throw up. And then I did
Yeah.
it, and it went all right. And then now I'm like, now I look back and I'm like, that place fucking sucks. I would never go there. Like, it's impossible to get there. They don't
That's
give you any
great.
time, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, there's that. And then something that really struck me early on, watching other people who, watching other people commit,
Okay. How do you mean?
so like really, like, you got to believe what you're saying on stage, right? You don't have to believe it, but like when you have to deliver it like you believe it.
Like you believe? Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
And like don't give up, even if you're bombing. Don't give up on
Just push
what
through
you're
it.
trying to do, right? Like,
Yeah.
don't just. So like I saw there was just one night where I just saw a bunch of comics and I'm like, oh, they're performing. You know what I mean? They're not
Yeah.
just like, oh, this joke, and you're like, oh, I guess you didn't like that joke. That's something I would still have to work on, because I don't like it about myself, is like self like commenting on myself. I'm like, oh, I guess you guys didn't like it, like stuff like that, or like,
Oh, okay.
I hate that kind of stuff, because I feel it's like it takes you out of the performance, and it's hard. It's like a tick. You know what I mean? Because like you
Yeah.
can't.
Yeah, I can see that.
Comics are just like to run their mouths, so it's like you just comment on like, that sucked, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But like, yeah, just committing and being like, I'm committed to this bit. I'm gonna, I'm not gonna half-ass it. I'm not gonna because it's easy to half-ass it if you're like, I'm nervous, or I kind of don't, I'm not sure if this is gonna work. You just gotta
Right.
believe it's gonna work, and it probably won't. And then until it does. But yeah, the commitment to the performance, and it was something that was kind of like an aha moment for me.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. I can see that.
You
One
got you got a mic on the books coming up? I don't know what's
No,
there's
there's
much
nothing here,
cooking right
man.
now.
I think soon, like I don't know. I guess bars are opening up. I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe as soon as I can find one, I'm gonna try to jump on it. I mean, I have three things written. I don't know what that is in minutes. It's probably not much. I haven't ran it through. One of them's like way too long, but either way, I'm gonna try to put that in 3 minutes. That's what Dean told me. He said you need to get 3 minutes together. I said okay, I can do that, but I'm not. I don't
yeah,
think I have that. But I mean, the first thing I find, I'm just gonna like commit to. I'm just gonna say hey, I'm gonna do this and then find it. But I haven't. Spencer told me to just start my own, but the problem is like I need a place. You know what I mean? If a place was running,
right.
I'm sure I could find one because there's a small scene out here. Like I have a friend who runs around like West Texas and does stuff, and I'm sure he's gone farther. I've only talked to him about it a little bit, but yeah, it's something it's one thing I thought about doing. I kind of thought about it because I know Ozzy did like a show at his apartment once. I
Yeah,
think I saw it on Instagram or something. I was like, maybe because I have a not to flex, I have a pretty sweet backyard, but
yeah,
I really thought about hosting something there. But then I'm like, I don't want a bunch of schmoes. Like, what am I gonna do? I
right.
have people like, and then if I have friends, I think they're gonna be nice, but then I have some real ball buster friends, so I'm like, maybe I'll just invite them. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's a whole weird thing. So I've obviously I've thought about it. I'm gonna figure something out, but we'll see
Yeah,
when bars open if somebody has just something. So
yeah. I mean that's the key thing, is like, just just do it. Like, as soon as
yeah,
you
for
get
sure.
that, just run through that hole. Because I put it off for like 10 years.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
um, it was something that I was in high school. I'm like, I'm going to do this thing when I get out of school,
yeah,
and then I just didn't. And then I
yeah,
like
yeah,
college, started a family, and got a job and all these things. And I'm like, well, I better do it now, or I'm going to regret it. And uh,
yeah.
I'm so happy that I did,
Mm-hmm.
because starting later, I feel like I had more kind of experience to draw from to
Right,
write jokes.
right. I can see
So
that. Yeah, yeah.
and you
You've
kind
lived a
of like,
life. I mean, yeah,
yeah, you got a little bit of stuff to talk to. You have, like, you kind of know who you are in real life, and so you can kind of try to make that happen on stage. And then you just gotta get together the joke writing and performance part of it. And
yeah,
fucking Corona really
yeah.
put it,
Really.
because like I was getting up as much as I could, and writing a lot, and felt like I was on a roll there. that show that we did for you guys was awesome. Like that was so much fun.
I'm
Uh,
glad we were so glad that you guys had a good time too. That was the other thing. I was like, well, we were talking about like at some point I was talking to one of my cousins. I was like, somebody said like we have too much beer. I'm like, no, we'll share it. Like we'll fucking maybe they'll like hang with us or whatever. And you guys did, and it was great. I I have I know I had a great time. I really wish I hadn't been pretty fucked up right when you guys showed up. Spencer was trying to remind me of a joke, and I was like, and it came together later on. I was like, oh yeah, I remember that, and it was
yeah,
just, oh god, that was so much fun, man. I was like, this is a thing. I'm a fan of comedy, and I'm just like, what? I just geeked
yeah,
out. It was great, man. I had such a blast, and every now and again, like I see those pictures and stuff, and like whatever, like 3 month, 6 month memories and shit on my phone. I'm like, what? Oh, that was so cool, And then, yeah,
yeah.
it's great stuff,
Yeah, man,
man.
that was a lot of fun, dude. That was
Yeah,
like
us
there
too.
was that little, COVID eye of the storm where we were like, oh yeah, it's fun.
Yeah.
Um, where I did that show, and then I did the show in Laredo that I was supposed to do before the pandemic. That kind of that was awesome. Like the show was okay. Like for me, I didn't do great,
Yeah.
but I get to go, down to Laredo, spend the night, and hang out with them, and kind of, make some
Pay you
friends
in
down there.
Coke, right?
Yeah, pay me in Coke. I had that, I shoved some up my ass so I can get it past Border Patrol, stuff
Right,
like that.
as you do.
Yeah, I don't know this about Laredo. If you go to Laredo, on the way to
Uh-huh.
Laredo, if you want to go to Mexico,
Uh-huh.
the border stop is on the border. When you leave Laredo go up 35, the border stop is like going north is like 30 miles away. It's 30 miles inland,
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
like, to me, it's like basically the United States is like, if you're below we didn't let you know on the way down, but if you're below this border stop, you're fucked. They're like,
Yeah.
anything above 30, in this 30-mile radius,
Yeah,
it's actually
they give you enough time to think you got away with it. That's what
right.
it is to catch you
Yeah.
slipping.
It
There's
was
something there. They did a focus group or something with drug mules.
Well, yeah. To me, it just feels like they're just letting Americans know, like, below this, it's, as far as we're concerned, it's Mexico. So good luck.
Yeah, yeah. I know what you wanted to say, but right, I got you. It's crazy. I've been there once. It's been a while. I don't get that. I'm in West Texas, and I'm not. That's still a little ways for me. But yeah, I
Yeah,
don't.
it
I
was my
remember it was
first
pretty.
time down there.
Oh really?
Yeah, I never
Probably.
been that close to the border. I'm from
Oh really?
Massachusetts. Yeah, we
You're
were
from
like
Massachusetts.
right
Okay.
there.
Oh
Yeah.
okay. I didn't even think about that. Okay. With Spencer, I was able to suss it out by the way he said Whataburger that he wasn't from here because he
Oh,
said he
where's
called it.
Spencer from?
Ah shit. Seattle. He's from Seattle. And he called it a Whataburger, and I was like, "What the fuck is Whataburger?" I was like, "What? What is that?" I was like, "You're not from here, are you?" And he goes, "No,
Yeah,
I'm from Seattle." I was like, "Oh, okay," because he said Whataburger.
Seattle. I wouldn't have pegged him as Seattle. I would have guessed he was like,
Yeah.
Philadelphia, New Jersey, something like that.
Oh, okay.
God
I don't
bless
know.
him.
I didn't even think about it. I didn't even think about it until he said that. That was a big red flag for me. I was very proud of
Yeah.
myself as a Texan for being able to suss that out. That's
Yeah.
cool. What brought you down? What brought you to Texas?
Work. I get a
Oh,
job
okay. Yeah.
down here in Austin, and actually next month is six years in Austin.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's cool.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's cool down here. I like it down here. There's no snow, which is good for starters.
Yeah. I
Um,
don't I forget what the weather's like in Austin. I think it's pretty similar. Is it cold right now?
it's kind of cold right now. I think
Yeah, it's
it's
how it
like
is here. Okay.
50, maybe, or maybe not
Okay.
50. It's like
Just from what I can see at
60.
your window and what you're wearing, I think it's about the same right now here.
Yeah, it's surprisingly cold. Like 7 days ago, it was 100 degrees
It was 100
outside. So
degrees. Yeah. Okay. It's about the same then. I never think about that. I know like East and South Texas is like super different. Oh my God. We're talking about the weather, Dave. Dave,
I know.
so that's my red flag for conversation. I'm like, we got to figure something out. We got to figure something
Yeah.
out. Where do you get those shoes from? I always do that. So,
Yeah.
I had a friend who pointed that out to me once, and I'm like, I'm gonna make it a point to like not let us go down that shitty rabbit hole.
Yeah.
So
Fuck weather.
yeah, fuck weather. So okay, shit, where was it? God damn it, I completely forgot. Um, so what were we talking about before?
Yeah,
Talking about
Laredo,
where
like
you're from
being
and shit,
being
Laredo. Okay.
yeah. So Laredo is like a total culture trip. Like for me, especially coming from
That's what I was gonna ask you. I was gonna ask you what. Okay, how do I say this? What are you? You're Puerto
what
Rican, right?
yes, I'm happy to report half Puerto Rican, half Pakistani.
Okay.
So
Okay. Cool.
so that's I was
I
born in
think
New
I
York.
remember Okay.
So that's how you make one of those, and then we moved to Massachusetts.
I love that. I love that. So there's a comic. I can't remember his name. He's in Harold and Kumar Go to White Castle. I
Mhm.
can't remember his name. I think he's Pakistani actually. I don't remember. He uh he talks about how like people can't figure out what he is, and he's like down south, and some guy's calling him a cultural, like he's calling him a you little Rubik's cube. What are you? Like he can't figure it out. I was thinking
Yeah.
about that earlier. I wish I had Googled him to remember who he was, but I was thinking about that. Okay, so what's that like?
Yeah, it's a trip, because like my I don't know anyone else. I know one other person who also is that same mix because like
Wow.
I have one sibling, and but we have different dads.
Okay.
She's technically my half sister, but
Right.
we grew up. She's my sister.
Okay.
Um, but I know one other guy who's got the same mix, which is strange. I don't know
Yeah, that's
why.
crazy.
We're
Yeah.
not related. I'm not sure what's going on with him, but yeah, it's wild. It's I talk about it in my act, but
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That I think I was like, after I said it, I was like, how do I know he's Puerto Rican? Like, I don't know where I got that
yeah,
from. Yeah, I'm sure I remember it from that. But usually beforehand, I'm gonna go through your Instagram and like your Facebook and YouTube, and I'm gonna search all your stuff. By the way, that's what I was gonna tell you. My first name's David. I've never met
oh,
another somebody who goes by the name Dave in my life.
oh,
How?
really?
Yeah, never. I've never.
Yeah,
Somebody called my dad that one. My dad has the same name. He has the same first name. So, somebody called my dad that one time, and I was like, Dave, like, what did you like? I thought it was so weird, and I've never. You're the first person I've ever heard like that I've ever spoken to that was named Dave.
yeah,
So that was odd for me. So like, I was thinking about that before. I'm like, what am I gonna call him, Dave? Like, I felt so weird about that. But so like, obviously, I go by Isaac. And
yeah,
there's a guy at work who calls me Ike, and I haven't called him on it yet. But it's so weird. It's just it feels gross. I'm
yeah,
like, why did you call me that? And one of these days, I'm gonna wait for there to be enough people for me to give him shit for it. But it's
yeah,
so weird. It just feels gross. I'm like, it's just one more syllable. Do we really have to cut that? You know, I'm
yeah.
I'm really
That's
big on. Yeah, I don't know. Nobody's ever done that. Nobody's ever shortened my two syllable name. I've never gotten that.
a
But I'm real big on like cutting things in half. So like podcasts I refer to as a pod or a sode, an episode or a pod, you know
right.
what I mean, like a sode. So a lot of people, I think Ozzy I've seen do it or heard do it, and somebody else I can't remember. But most people call it a cast, right? And I'm like, man, that sounds cooler, but I've already committed to pod. I
Yeah,
can't just go back. I gotta stand for something, right?
I
So
like pod. I like pod over
yeah,
cat.
yeah,
Yeah, Dave. Yeah, no, I mean, government name David, and I don't know.
yeah.
In high school, I'm like, this is how I'm gonna be. Like, I'm cool.
Did you
Dave.
choose that? Did you choose that?
Yeah,
Okay, cool. Yeah.
I'm Dave. Yeah, and it
Yeah.
just kind of stuck. I thought about going that, but like, what am I gonna do? Like, tell everybody in my life, like, listen, I don't go by that anymore. You could just change it
That's
when you know about me.
cool. Formerly known as Dave, the comic
Yeah,
formerly known as Dave.
yeah. No, yeah, it was a trip growing up. Like my mom's Puerto Rican. Like, I'm Puerto Rican. Like I don't really know anything about being Pakistani. I don't have any kind of relation to that side of my family.
Okay.
Uh, and so like I consider myself primarily, if I had to choose one, Puerto Rican, but mostly I'm just like I'm just a dude. I'm just like an
Yeah.
American. I was
Yeah.
born in.
See, that's what I always say. I mean, me and my wife have talked about this a bunch. Like, I don't. I feel like people say, "Oh, I'm Mexican American. Oh, I'm African American." I'm like, you can be American and just have roots. You know what I mean? I
Yeah,
always say
just
that.
American.
I was like, why? I don't. I feel like not to get all weird about it. This is just my thoughts on it, but like
Let's get weird.
my favorite. So it's it's like we're so divided right now, and even before this year, I've always felt like we have to identify as a group. Like everybody has to pick a team or call themselves by some unit, you know.
Right.
And I'm just like, we can be Americans. Like we can be a thing here. We can all
Yeah.
we can all be like one big group. You know what I mean? To be kind of
Yeah.
hippy dippy about it or whatever. But I've
No,
always thought like we don't have to like identify as separate things. You know what I mean? All the time. You know?
I agree. I agree. I think it's just human nature, you know. We're just like
Yeah.
that. We're this and you're that. Like everyone wants to be on a team.
Yeah.
Everyone wants
I
to
feel
win
the same way
games.
about politics, and I don't want to get into that, but that's you know what I mean. It's
Yeah,
tough.
I mean, we agree. Trump 2020 all the way. So
Yeah. Yeah.
no, yeah,
Uh,
I agree. Everyone needs a team, and they're like, this is we're like this, and I'm like, everyone's the fucking same.
yeah.
Nothing. It's all the same. And I think it's something that I've found in common with most comics. I think
Uh-huh.
is that they all kind of have this thing where they never felt like they were a part of a team.
Oh my
Like they
God! I
never.
just had this conversation with somebody yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, listen, it's in the air. Like
Yeah.
I never felt like, and it's because of my makeup and even in my own family, it's like
Yeah.
Puerto
Yeah.
Rican.
Huh.
You got a weird nose, so you're kind of you're
Kind of
kind of in the
weird.
group.
Yeah.
And then like I don't speak Spanish, and so where I grew up, there's a lot of Puerto Rican kids and a lot of white kids,
Yeah.
and I'm like fucking wearing Jenko jeans and trying to do a kickflip or
Janko
whatever. So I
jeans.
can't hang out with the Puerto Rican kids, and then but the white kids are like, but don't forget all the time that you're different, and so you never fit.
Yeah.
You never fit in
Yeah.
it.
Dude, I'm 30 and I got that like still, you know what I mean? Like I still have that. I had a big
Yeah,
talk with Ozzy about that. Like I've always been the worst Mexican, but going back to the
yeah,
American thing, but
yeah,
yeah, like my Spanish is terrible. Love the food, but that's about it, you know what I mean? My wife would argue, but she always wants to eat Mexican
yeah.
food. I'm always tired of it, but
Dude,
like,
I feel the same way. Like, my wife is white, like she's very white looking, but she's half like German, and then other half is Puerto Rican and Cuban, but she looks
oh,
white.
cool. Right.
So so like together, like mostly we have like Puerto Rican style traditions, right?
Oh, cool. Okay.
Like we were eating plantains today. We got to cut way back on the rice. Like when I was a kid, every meal was like three
Right.
quarters rice,
Yeah.
And I was remembering I had this great uncle or granduncle, I don't know. He's an
Yeah.
old guy in my life
Mhm.
who's no longer with us. When I was a kid, every time I saw him, he was a Puerto Rican guy, like from the island. Like
Yeah.
this guy was like a Korean war vet,
Oh
like
wow.
really cool. Like every time I saw him, he would light up in his Puerto Rican accent. He would go, "Capitan," and I thought he was calling me captain.
Uh-huh.
My whole life, I'm like every time I see him, I'm like, this guy fucking loves me.
Yeah.
But the truth is that I found out years later that he was calling me Pakistan. He was calling me Pak. And so I'm like, I thought this guy fucking loved me, but he was like, no, I'm just reminding you that
You're
we didn't
different.
we didn't approve of your mother's choice when when you fucked that guy. It, like shit like that is just like, oh, I don't really. But that's how you kind of be. I think I don't know. I don't want to get too up my own ass, but like
Yeah.
you're like an outside observer. You feel like for everything, and you always want to
Yeah.
fight the. I always want to fight the opposite thing. If
Man, you
someone's
really
like,
summed it up. You really summed it up for me, man. That's exact. I feel like that a lot in my life. Like I'm always the outside observer. I'm always like people watching. I'm like, what's it like to be a part of that? Like, you know what I mean?
right. All the
Yeah.
time. I'm like, I wonder what it's like. I remember as a kid, I don't know if this happens to Mexicans too, but I remember as a kid being like, damn, it must be fucking dope to be white. I look at white people, I'm like, I wonder what it's like to be
I'm
the
like
way
that at my
God intended
job.
us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. Holy shit! What was that? Can you hear that? Oh, okay.
I can't hear it now.
Oh, okay. Did you hear that? I think it was I think I had my book on my space bar or something. I
Oh
don't
no.
know. I don't know. That was the white god telling me to shut up. I don't know.
Yeah, it's like change the subject.
Yeah, James. So I'm not going to. I'm going to lean into it because I thought of something. So we live in pretty decent neighborhood. So like there's a school like half a mile from where we live, and there was like this Trump support parade thing, and I saw it in
Yeah.
like all the neighborhood apps or whatever, and like I was like, okay, whatever. But I drove by. I was going to get food. I think it was on Saturday or Sunday, and I was going to pick up some food, and I came back and I drove by. I remember seeing it on like the neighborhood apps, and I saw like I was like, okay, whatever. I'm very like you do your thing, I'll do my thing, like and I very much like I'm not one side or the other. I lean more right, but I still have my things. But I saw that and I was like, oh wow. And then I saw like four rebel flags, and I'm like, we're still doing this shit. Really, we're still here. And then
Yeah.
like not long ago, like I want to say a month ago. I've been dying to talk about this. I was gonna do an
Yeah.
Insta story and my phone fucked up. There was a truck like right in that area with a lot of trucks out here, and it had a tailgate that was like vinyl wrapped with the American flag, right? So okay, right on. And then he has a rebel flag like hanging out like on a pole, and I'm like, this guy's very confused. I feel like we settled
Right.
this like 160 years ago. What's
Yeah.
going on? And I was really proud of what I made, and I do this thing where I'll make an Insta story and then I'll just like put it away, and when I get home I'll like put all the stuff to it, right? And then I got home and it like
Right.
fucked up and it went away. I was so mad. I thought it was gonna be a thing, but I just like
Yeah.
it just like shocks me that this is still going on. Like it's the population here is like it's I'm not a minority here. You know what I mean? Like there's a
Right.
lot of Mexicans here, so it's like it's probably 60-40, 70-30.
Yeah.
And uh, I'm just like we're still doing. I mean, I don't know. It just shocks me that I still see this shit all the time. You know what I mean? I've seen it like,
Yeah.
and there's definitely been a spike. There's definitely been a spike of them lately. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you? I feel like you probably don't see them there.
I mean, I'm just outside of Austin.
Mm-hmm.
We're up in like north suburb area. So
Okay.
out here, you'll see a couple of Trump stickers sometimes,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
not really.
That's
Because I mean, to be honest with you, we live where when the last 20 years of Austin gentrifying itself, all the black people and Mexicans moved here where I live.
oh
So
yeah.
this is actually the most where my kids go to school is like in like the top 10 most diverse school districts in Texas.
Wow.
And that
Okay.
was what was
Cool.
funny to me about Laredo is like I went there and I'm like it was Laredo's 95, not a joke, 95% Mexican, which makes sense.
Yeah.
When
Mm-hmm.
you go there, it's like it's a different place. Because I have this joke. It's not even a joke. It's just like sometimes on stage I'll go like, "Are there any white people in here?" And the answer is always yes, because we're in Austin. And so like
Yeah.
it's a punchline because white people are like, "Ha, yes, of course." And
Yeah.
in Laredo, I'm like, "Is there any white people in here?" And like one lady was like, "I'm white," and I'm like, "Oh shit, this is like, there, you're the minority here."
Yeah.
But yeah, we don't see too much of that out here. I saw it when I was back home, like growing up in like rural Massachusetts. It was like there would be kids in high school
I
who would have
never thought
no
about
club.
that. I never thought about there being a rural Massachusetts.
Oh yeah,
For
kids.
me, it's just it's always
It's yeah,
Boston. My sister goes to school in Boston, so like I always think of that.
dude.
I always think of like right there.
They
It's
think
terrible.
people think Massachusetts is blue, but
Yeah.
where I'm from, in the center of the state, which is most of the state,
Hmm.
I mean, it's red. It's
Hmm.
totally red,
Yeah.
and um, for the most part. And so there's kids with like rebel flags on their cars. I'm like, where?
Yeah. I hear.
You live further north.
Yeah. That's so weird. I always hear. I listen to Craig and Mike's podcast,
Yeah,
and I always hear them talk about that, and it just blows my fucking mind. I'm like, what? Like I don't believe it. They're from Maine.
yeah,
That
dude.
that blows my mind.
There's like there it's. I mean, most of the country, it's mostly rural, right? Massachusetts,
Yeah.
Maine is
Yeah.
like there's like two people who live in Maine, and
Well,
yeah,
not
so like
anymore. Craig and Mike left.
yeah, they left. It's empty.
It's
Like
empty.
Vermont is like watching their cat right now.
Craig
Yeah,
definitely
so
has a cat. In I don't know why. I always want to talk shit about the people I haven't spoken to. Like I've only
yeah,
talked to most of you once, and I haven't even talked to Craig yet. I feel like I
yeah.
know people from a podcast. I'm so stupid with that. I
No,
hope he'll
Craig's
come on. I haven't
cool.
even talked to him yet. Yeah, he seems that way.
Craig's cool. He could, yeah, and he could take a
I'm probably
joke
gonna
too. He's
shout at
super
him
funny.
soon. Yeah, yeah, he's
Yeah,
pretty great.
but yeah, I mean, I haven't seen it in a while. I don't know. I don't know what the fuck is going on. I don't know. I'm like, I just need whatever the results of the election are. I just need it to be. Let's just know that night. I don't want to drag it out, and let's get it over with. Let's just get it over with.
Yeah, yeah. I don't have high hopes for this one either way. I don't have a dog in the fight, so to speak. I don't.
No, it's fucking tough, dude. Although if Texas is gonna secede from the union, now's the time. I'm here. I'm ready.
That's definitely a thing.
I'm ready.
There's all the
I'm part
time.
of it. It's fine. Take me with you.
Yeah, we
I'm not
got
going back.
Elon and Rogan. I think we'll make it.
Dude, I think we got a chance.
Actually, you got Elon and Rogan.
I know.
As long as there's still oil, I'll be okay.
Right.
Yeah. Oh shit, dude. Man, I was gonna talk to you about. Okay, dude, I feel like I might just have just enough alcohol to talk to you about this. It's confession time,
Let's
and
do
I
it.
feel so fucking weird about this, but I feel like you're gonna take it okay. It's such an awkward thing that happened, but I think
Yeah.
it'll be a funny thing. So I was watching. I think you did it like one weekend. You did like two of those open mic wife things
Uh, yeah.
where you. So I do that. I do that here. I'm not a comic, and I make these stupid jokes with my wife. Not that yours are stupid. Mine are terrible.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they're
And
stupid.
and it made me feel so good that your wife doesn't even look up from what she's doing to hear your
No.
joke.
No,
Mine
she
doesn't.
doesn't.
She's like that's. I was like, did you think that's funny? And she's like, hmm, that's good. Like, it's just. But what I'm driving at here is, so I did this thing for like a week where I would lean on the bar of my kitchen or whatever, and I would hold my phone. Let me grab my phone so you can see. I would hold my phone like this, very effeminately. Like, I would
Yeah.
hold my phone like this. It's the weirdest thing. It feels super unnatural. And
Yeah.
both times I watched it, I would try to readjust and I would fucking screenshot it. And I don't know if you saw this or you get an alert for it, but I felt so fucking gross, Dave. The first time it happened, I'm like, okay, weird. I don't know. Maybe he didn't see it. Maybe nothing will happen. I don't know. And then like you did another one in that same weekend or that same couple days, and I did it again, dude. And then I was like, what the fuck? And I put my phone down. I deleted it, and I was just like, should I message him? Should I fucking like? I felt so fucking worse. I'm like, whatever happens, happens. It's
No, I don't know. I
quarantine.
didn't know that.
Everything's weird. I felt so fucking weird, dude.
I
I don't
didn't
know
even know.
what that
Yeah.
was.
I didn't
Like
get an alert or
I
anything.
just assume. I just assume. But now you know I'm being honest because I wouldn't have told you if I didn't think anyway. But
No, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean,
I thought it
it's
would be
totally
funny to
fine.
share that. That's the only weird thing that I have with you that's ever happened that you didn't know about. So there's that. But
Thank you for your candor.
you're welcome. I did that. That it happened with that, and then like an ad for like an Amazon Instagram ad.
Yeah,
So obviously, I got to call Instagram and tell them too. But other than that,
yeah.
it's
I
fine.
think Instagram might not take it as good as I did, but
I don't think so. Anyway, I feel good. I was like, I think he's gonna take this well. So man. I don't know. I was gonna tell you about this, but I feel weird now because Craig and Mike talked about it in their podcast, and I heard it literally an hour before you and me were talking.
okay,
But
yeah. Lay it on me.
I saw Gilbert Godfrey this morning in a video where he's singing WAP, or I can't say WAP. I'm like, are we gonna
Yeah,
act like
WAP
this
feels
wasn't?
racist.
Yeah, are we gonna act like this wasn't a slur 5 minutes ago?
Right,
I
right.
don't know, but have you seen this?
I have, and I love
It
everything
brings
about it.
so much joy to my heart to see Gilbert Godfrey do that.
He's the
I,
funniest guy because like he's a million years old.
he's
Like
so
they have a
old and he's hilarious. That's actually what I wrote. I wanted to tell you about how much I want to be that fucking crazy when I'm old.
he's old and he's like, I'll read this. I don't care what it says.
He doesn't. Did you see his documentary?
Uh, I can't
It's called
remember
Gilbert.
if I have either seen it or I've listened to him talk about it extensively on a podcast.
His wife saves all his cards and Valentine's letters or whatever that he writes to her. He's like, "Hey, I love you. Have a great day. You know, I'm so happy I get to wake up with you, whatever." And at the end of all of them, they say, "Go fuck yourself." Like he says that to his wife. I would never do that to my wife, but I think about it now because it's, I don't know. He's so cool. I thought about getting him
Yeah.
for a cameo for like an ad for the podcast,
Yeah.
but he's expensive. He knows what he's worth.
Oh, really?
Disney,
What's he?
Disney,
What's he?
he's like
What's he
it's like
charging?
250, 300. It's up there. Yeah,
Damn,
but
Gilbert.
it's worth it. Yeah, I know. Him and
Yeah.
Shaggy are pretty high.
Yeah, Cameo is
So
a great way to find out who's still alive because I didn't even know Shaggy was out there.
yeah, yeah. I was trying to find the weirdest people who would come on who I could get for like the most decent amount. With
Yeah.
with the other podcast, there's a local director who got for when his movie got released, he had Carol Baskin do a cameo to announce the
Yeah.
movie coming out. I was like, oh man, that's a sick move. That was
Yeah.
great. And it's a movie about like it's a horror movie about murder and shit. So I was like, oh man, that's great.
That's
Yeah,
so funny.
cameo's fucking rad. I'm still waiting for Bert to reply to me because he's like $2,
Oh,
but
really?
nothing. Yeah, he's the only one that's cheap. But
Man. Yeah. I saw some podcast where they were like they got Rachel Dolezal to do a
oh
cameo
shit,
for their
man.
podcast.
Oh my god, I've been wondering where she was in all this.
She's out there, man. She's out there.
Really?
She's doing cameos. I think she still is claiming to be black, which, good for her, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Um, you see
Still.
that teacher like last week or maybe a few days ago that came out was like she's like I've been pretending to be black this whole time, but I'm not.
What?
Same deal. It was the same deal. She came out and she was like, I've been pretending to be, black, and it's always someone who like teaches black history and like
Yeah,
is like
yeah. African American studies or
it's never anyone who's like I'm pretending to be black and like I fucking work for UPS. So like I'm pretending to be black and I'm doing the blackest thing I could think of. Like I'm teaching African studies.
do you have you ever watched Atlanta?
Yes. Oh my yeah. You're
You
talking
know what
about
I'm
the
talking
actor?
about? The kid who thinks
Yeah,
he's
he's
a
like
40-year-old systems engineer.
yeah, he's like I identify as a 40-year-old white man.
I love that. I love
Yeah.
that shit so much. I man, I was filling out something. I don't remember what it was. It was something for I was renewing my license and I was in a there's a small town that I work in like 40 minutes from where I live and it's pretty country
Yeah.
and they were there was something I had to fill out like on race or something and I told the lady like I don't see my thing here and they're like what are you talking about? I was like well I identify as a podcaster. What's the thing here? And she's like, she didn't even know what a podcast was, I don't think. And I was like, all right. I was like, they're not all hits. I'll try it, whatever. She just looked at me
Yeah.
like, can you please just fill one out? Like, I don't have time for this. I was like, all
He's
right.
like very funny.
You got to make bits for yourself. I always say that.
Yeah. I mean that's
No.
the great thing about having kids is I just mess with them all day.
Man, you posted that Insta story the other day where where there was like I guess I don't what is the story behind this? You moved the blanket and there's like a doll there, but
Yeah.
did you think your kid was under there or
No, I set it up because that
oh you set that up,
daughter
okay.
my daughter got this doll. She's like obsessed with baby dolls. She's
Uh-huh.
8, right? And so she wants but she doesn't want like a doll. She wants like one that kind of has weight. Like they make these ones that are kind of realistic.
Yeah.
And so she got this one.
I
And
got one of those.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you just carried it to the grocery store.
It's way
You can
more.
park right up front,
It's way more expensive. Uh huh.
and it's so ugly. It's the
Really?
ugliest doll I've ever seen. It's it's disturbing.
Yeah.
The hair is weird, and I'm like, oh, she probably can hear me over there. And I'm like, and so it was just on the couch, and so I just thought it'd be funny just to be like, because it looks real enough from the hair that you could like pretend that it was a kid, and it's so stupid. That's the biggest laugh I've gotten all of quarantine. I've never had so many people message me and go like, "This is hilarious," and I'm like, "Thanks." It was, I didn't work on it at all. Thank you.
It's funny how effortless stuff just fucking hits.
Oh, I know.
That's
Yeah, I
great,
mean, but
man.
that's what you gotta do, man. I'm trying to make myself laugh over here.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. You gotta find a way to get through it, man. I don't know. I try bits through the house. Me and my wife are like we have really weird senses of humor. So
Yeah.
like a lot of like, pulling your pants up real high and just weird, talking like you're a Game of Thrones character, just stupid shit like that. It's a lot of
I
fun.
mean, that's the funniest stuff. Like, even just thoughts are funny to me. Like, I did
Do
this thing with
what?
my wife. Like, just thoughts. Like, the idea
Okay.
of something happening. Like, my wife,
Uh-huh.
like, a long time ago, or not that long, a few months ago, I brought this up to her, and I think about it all the time, and I'll bring it back up to her, and it's so stupid. Like, I was like, what if, like, when humans died, like when a bug dies, it instantly like curls up like this, and like its legs stick up. I'm like, what if that's the way people died? Like, what if your like grandmother's on her deathbed, and she's like takes her last breath, and you're like, we love you, and she dies,
She
and then she just
curls.
curls up like a bug. Like, that's
That's so rad.
and I don't even know what to do
I don't
with
know
that
why
thought.
that's funny, but that's awesome. I don't know. That's like that needs to be animated. I need that in a Rick and Morty clip or something. That's sick,
I
man. I love that.
I don't
I'm
even know
being
what to
genuine.
do
I'm
with
not
it.
just saying that because you're on my podcast. That's fucking hilarious.
I wish I had somewhere to go with that or something to do with it. I feel like it would be a good thing that would just be like a part of some movie that was never explained. That like someone just dies and they
Just
just
to throw in there.
yeah. That's stuff. That's the kind of stuff that's funny to me.
That's great, man. That's hilarious. I don't have anything to bring that to. I know when we end this, I'm gonna think of something. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's good, man. Fuck, dude. I'm gonna think about that. That's one of those I'm gonna think about like at 2 a.m. Like when I wake up to like take a piss or something. I'm like, fuck. Like it's just
It's
gonna
just
wreck me
goofy.
in the middle of the night. Yeah, weird shit like that's great, man. That's good
It's just
stuff, man.
goofy.
I don't have any bits like that. That's pretty good.
Have you
I'm
seen?
gonna,
Have you seen? I think you should leave on Netflix.
yeah, yeah. We have a
Oh my
joke
god.
on the movie podcast. Wait. Yeah, I think you should leave is great. Yeah, I was thinking there's a movie called You Should Have Left that I was thinking about. Yeah, I think you should leave is great. The baby beauty pageant or whatever.
Oh my god.
Oh
I've
my
I've
god.
watched through the whole thing like 3 or 4 times. It's genuinely one of the funniest things I've ever seen, and it's
Yeah,
so
it's
funny
great. It's
every
so
time.
weird. Yeah. Man, you're
And
the first person outside of the couple that recommended it to me that I've ever spoken to the show about that has seen it. It's
I can't say
amazing.
enough about it. I fucking love. It's just so
It's unexplainably
it's
weird. It's so cool.
it's so goofy and like wild, and like I just
Have you
love when
seen
they're
American
like,
Pickle? An American Pickle on HBO
no,
with Seth Rogen?
no,
That guy's
I
in
haven't
it. He's
I
this.
heard about it though.
Yeah, like that guy's in it. He's like the guy who's in most of the skits or whatever.
Yeah,
He's like Seth Rogen's lawyer or whatever, and he does some of that stuff for a second. That
yeah.
guy's great, man. I don't know that guy's name. He's fucking
Oh my
awesome.
god, I fucking I know his name because he has a something else. I'm just gonna
Oh,
Google it real quick. This
really?
is very important.
Yeah, tell me because I'm
Um,
gonna write that down.
he did
Oh man, man, it's been.
Detroiters on Tim Robinson. He did Detroiters on Comedy Central with that same guy that's in that is hosting the baby pageant.
Uh huh.
They like co-star in that, and he also did basically like a precursor to I Think You Should Leave, which is it was Netflix did this thing called The Characters,
Uh
and
huh.
it's basically a sketch series, but each episode is a different comedian, and they get an hour to do a sketch show, and they can do whatever they want. Like,
Wow, that's cool. Just free reign.
so he did one of those, and it's I Think You Should Leave. Like it's the same. It's so
Yeah,
funny, and like he's just so over the top. Like, I can't say enough about it.
yeah. That's great, man. That's so funny. I watched that whole show in like 2 days, maybe a day and a half.
Yeah.
I kicked that show in the dick. That show's awesome. I wish I had seen it more recently because I could tell you more. I remember the plumber thing is great. that scene where they're like, it's so weird. They're just going in and out of the bathroom, and the guy's like, "Hey, what are you doing here?" Like, it's just so fucking weird. And then the baby beauty pageant with the bad boy baby that has like the weird long name. I
Yeah,
don't know what
and
the fuck. So it makes me feel really good that what I think is funny, actual comedians think is funny because sometimes I'm like, man, nobody thinks this shit's funny. I'm a fucking loser, but
no,
then
man,
I'm
there's
still a loser. But
goofy.
that shit's great. Yeah, that shit's fucking great, man. Oh god, that show. I'm literally gonna watch it again. Fuck the fuck the
It's
Chiefs and
just
all
good.
that.
It
I'm not
makes you
gonna watch
feel
that
good.
after this. I'm gonna watch. Yeah,
Turn it
yeah.
on. It just makes you feel good. You can watch, and they're quick too. It's just it's an easy like I'm trying to space it out, right? I don't want to watch it too often because I don't want to like get
Okay, are
like
you
hooked
watching
both.
it? Is it recent? Like, did you just start it or?
No, I watched it whenever it came out a
Uh
year,
huh.
maybe a year and a half ago, and
Yeah.
since then I've watched it through it like three times,
Oh
like
wow.
through the whole
Okay.
season
Cool.
because like each episode's like 15, 20 minutes or whatever.
Right. Right. They're pretty short. Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know, I get obsessive about like stuff like that. There's some specials and stuff like that where I'll watch it and I'll just start it right over again because I'm like, well, I have to watch it again. It was too good. Like it's just
Yeah.
infectiously good.
Speaking of
Um,
which, do you have any specials that you recommend as like comedy criteria or like some that are like your Mount Rushmore for specials
yeah, I mean, I'll like going way back,
or
and
even
so like
comics that you're like, oh, watch out for this guy or whatever. Just whatever you got. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, going way back, like my I'm losing the light in here. The light is
You're
broken, so
good.
we're losing daylight.
Nobody watches it. We have like 5 minutes or whatever. You're good.
Okay.
We'll wrap up.
I like when I was a kid, I watched Kings of Comedy. Probably I shouldn't
Okay.
have.
Yeah.
I really
Yeah.
shouldn't have.
Yeah.
But my
Most of those
mom,
specials that you see as a kid. Yeah. You should.
yeah, my mom would watch. She was like watch it with me, and I'm like,
Yeah.
we I think we had the VHS
Yeah.
early on, like Bernie Mac, and I watched Bernie Mac's first Def Jam, um, Def Comedy Jam appearance
Yeah.
before I did stand up for the first time because Bernie Mac's energy in that appearance, the whole kind of like it keeps repeating throughout the thing. I'm not scared of you motherfuckers, over and
Yeah.
over
Yeah.
again.
Mm-hmm.
And because that crowd is
Love that.
notoriously kind of like a scary crowd, right? Like if you fuck up, they're it's gonna be bad for you. And he
Yeah.
like the first thing he says when he comes out, I'm pretty sure is like, "I'm not scared of you motherfuckers," and he's doing his jokes, and then he just stop and between every joke and say it again, and like that level of like Bernie Mac confidence, I feel like
Yeah.
in
That's
that
goals.
in the advice segment too. And then more recently, like I'm a big fan of like obviously like all the big guys right now, like Tom Segura and Nate Bargatze. I'm a
Yeah.
huge fan of his because like of just his subtlety. I think
Yeah.
it's really hard to be funny in the details. It's hard to be subtly funny, but to be
Mm-hmm.
subtly hilarious with just like inflection. And obviously Mark Norman, like we were talking about, I'm a big fan
Yeah.
of. I one of my kind of more favorite specials from the last couple of years is actually from Ray Romano. This is not a new guy,
The
but
Netflix one.
his Netflix one,
Yeah.
which is 2 half-hour sets put together. So he like goes
Yeah.
to the
Yeah.
Comedy Cellar in New York. He does a set, and the camera follows him. He gets off stage, follows him upstairs. He goes around the corner to
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know the name of the other venue they have that's around the block, and he does
Yeah.
another half hour there, and it's so good. Like it's so it's about him and his family and all that stuff, but there's just something about it that like it's just calm and very clever, and
Yeah.
he I don't
Flows.
know. I feel like I could be like I feel like hit that style he that he has that is on display in this special is something that it feels like it's up my alley. You know what I mean? It feels
Okay.
like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'd like to be like him, right? Like I'd like to have jokes that are as effortless as his when he's talking about his real life, when he's talking about his family, when he all
Yeah.
that shit. Um,
Yeah.
so I really love that. And
Hell
then
yeah, man.
like for the sake of goofiness, I know these are not new guys, but for the sake of goofiness, Adam
Love it.
Sandler's special on
They're all gonna.
Netflix.
Oh, okay. Okay.
The I got a fucking light here, like I'm on Are You Afraid of the Dark?
You're
Uh,
good.
Adam Sandler's special I think it's called a 100% fresh or certified fresh, something like that.
Yeah, okay, that tracks. I had to think about it. I was like, oh yeah, he had one. That's part of that wild ass deal he had.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah.
just like things are funnier when they rhyme, and and I accept that if people think it's hacky, whatever, it's just funny. The whole thing
Yeah.
is funny. It's like an hour and a half long, and
Right.
that was one of those ones where I'm like, I could just watch it again, just like run it again.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sick, man. Those are solid, man. I'm gonna have to revisit some of that. I'm definitely gonna have to revisit I think you should leave. It's a fucking rad show. Man, do you have anything you want to plug before we wrap?
No, I mean,
Rap, listen to me, this industry guy. Listen to me.
yeah. Before we
Big
wrap,
podcaster. Yeah.
no, yeah, like when does this come? Does this come out in the near
So
future?
this will be within a month, I think,
Okay,
probably. Yeah,
yeah.
I'll
So
let
I
you know the
mean,
day before it comes out. I'll message you.
okay, yeah. Hopefully, one day we'll be able to do comedy a lot. I'm doing a gig on Saturday up
Uh
here or
huh.
down here in Leander, so
Hmm.
trying to get the
Well, if you
gear
share it on
set going
Instagram,
again.
I'll share it or whatever. If you post or anything, I'll definitely share it on my socials.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll do
Yeah.
that. Yeah. So that other than that, just follow me on Instagram at Dave Janjua. So Dave Janjua. Follow
Okay,
me
sick.
there. And
Yeah.
then I'm just turning into a pair of teeth right now. This is embarrassing.
Nobody watches the YouTube channel. The only
One day,
comment I've gotten on the YouTube channel is like 18 plus girls right away. It was like on Dean's episode, which tracks makes sense, but
yeah, that makes sense.
yeah.
He probably
Oh, it
posted
was.
it.
I think it was 18 minus girls. It was something like that on
Oh
his.
shit, that's a different
I'm
ad.
kidding. I'm kidding.
that's
I'm
a
kidding.
that's a different lane. That's a
Yeah,
dark web.
yeah. But let me see your Instagram and
Yeah, follow me on Instagram and just I don't know, be good to yourself. I guess I don't know.
yeah.
No, I
Okay,
got nothing
sick.
going on.
Okay, I
So
got you, man.
follow
It's
me
a
on
weird time to
Instagram.
ask this question. I hate to put you on blast right
You
there.
follow me on Instagram, and then maybe one day stand-up
Yeah,
comedy will return, and then you'll
yeah.
see me out there. And other than that, just keep hope alive. I don't know. I never know
Yeah,
how to end a sentence.
one of those things. Party on, dudes. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
for
party on,
sure.
Wayne.
Heck yeah, man. Well, thanks for coming on my stupid podcast, man. I appreciate it. And
No, this is great.
if you'll do it, we'd love to have you on again. But it's great, man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. This is great. I appreciate it. Thanks for asking me to
yeah,
be
man, for
on,
sure.
and go watch. I think you should leave right now.
Yeah, I'm literally gonna do that right now. Fuck that football game. I'm not gonna watch it right now.
Yeah,
So,
cool,
all right,
man.
man. Well, take care, and yeah, if you share that thing, I'll definitely send it out or whatever.
All
So
right, sweet.
solid,
All right, man.
man.
I'll
Well,
talk to you
thanks.
soon.
All right,
Thanks.
man. Later. Thank you.